Hey, there's somebody new there.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Inside the Pigskin. We have an old, young, pretty familiar face on here. We have Jennifer Lewis on. Glad to have Jen on for about a half an hour. We have Jeremy Ballrick, my co-host. Glad to have Jeremy on.
Woo! Let's get it.
All right, we're going to do it. And McAndrew, glad to have you on. Mel's going to have his own segment beginning next week called Mel's, I don't know, got Mel's View. And then we have Eric Katz, who's a stud on this platform, and Candy anchoring us on the back end. Let's get going. We have a busy show to get to tonight. But we're going to start off with NASCAR, okay? Brad Keselowski believes Kyle Busch should go into the NASCAR Hall of Fame immediately. Jenner, for your thoughts.
Say that again, Scott. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Hey, Brad Keselowski believes Kyle Busch should go into the NASCAR Hall of Fame immediately. Jen, some thoughts?
I think in 2027 there should be something for him. However, I also really think that they should. Two thoughts here. One, when he is in, he should be first ballot Hall of Famer.
Okay.
There are a lot of other guys that are already in line.
Okay.
Also, I feel like his daughter Lennox should be old enough to remember her dad getting inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
And we are a huge, out and really loved Kyle Busch. And we thought when I got a chance to meet him and chat with him in January, it was amazing for me. But I think he would want his daughter to remember also, because everybody knows how he and Brexton were very close. He was Brexton's coach and mentor. And yeah, I just feel like Lennox should be old enough, and I feel like it should be first ballot Hall of Famer. And, getting him in right now, it might not be that way. So that's what I think. I mean, I think it would be a Bill Belichick going into the NFL Hall of Fame type mistake, but that's just how I feel. But I understand why Brad Keselowski is saying that. I think NASCAR could do another award in memory of Kyle, because he changed the game. He changed the race. He did.
See, I had an opportunity to talk to Brad Keselowski at the Daytona 500. Is what it was, and not last year, but a couple of years ago. Brad Keselowski, I took a photo with him. What a great, classy guy! Doesn't hurt him from my neck of the woods. So, Brad Keselowski, hey, you want to take a picture? He asked me. I'll take a picture with you because he knew who I was. I did. Bingo, hometown connection. There you go. Jeremy, some thoughts about obviously the late Kyle Busch.
I believe he should go in right away. But I also agree, Jen's right. It should be when Lennox is old enough to remember it. She should be at least 5-6 years old. And normally when somebody retires or anything else, it ends up being 5 years after.
Right.
When they're eligible.
Except Roberto Clemente.
But as far as we are not recording an interview, this is a live show.
Yes, there you go. Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, Roberto Clemente got in there posthumously after he had made that noble humanitarian effort, obviously, that we all know, many of us know about in the baseball world. But yeah, but go ahead. I just thought I'd throw the Clemente reference. Go ahead, Eddie. Unless you're not, are you done, Jeremy, or are you good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, I'm not a huge NASCAR fan by any stretch. I mean, compared to Jen and Jeremy. But from everything I've heard, and I would agree with Jen. If he sounds like he's very worthy of the accolades of the Hall of Fame, and if with his young daughter, giving her something to remember her dad by, that this tragedy, something to kind of help pave over the tragedy in her memory of when her youth is. I mean, she'll never forget it, but it'll be something that might ease the pain down the road.
And by the way, Jeremy, your assignment for the night is continue to monitor the chat room. We appreciate it. Okay. Thank you.
Drew Daniels 9816 as a practicing psychiatrist. I see we have a lot to unpack here.
All right. Well, Jeremy's good when it comes to this stuff. That's your rule tonight, Jeremy. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, Mel. I know you're probably not a big NASCAR guy, but you have to be a NASCAR guy to understand a guy like Kyle Busch obviously died way too early.
Yeah, when it happened, obviously it was a shock. Now, whether or not he should be in the Hall of Fame or not, I mean, I think right now everybody's emotions are raw. Right now, I mean, you think back when Reggie White passed away and his wife asked the NFL for a waiver for Reggie White to be inducted in the Hall of Fame without having to wait the standard 5 years. I think it was at 4 years at that particular time. They didn't honor, Reggie. We know what Reggie White meant to the game and the type of person, the type of human being that Reggie White was. He'll get in, in no disrespect to someone who's moved on. But I mean, Bill Belichick didn't get in on the first ballot. Why are we having this conversation? I understand, again, emotions are raw right now. He just passed away tragically. He is going to get into the Hall of Fame. Should they do something special, have a special exemption for him? I don't watch NASCAR enough to be able to give you an opinion on that, an opinion that would really matter or resonate. But, if they do, great. If they don't, I'm okay with that as well.
That's fair. Okay, Eric.
I mean, I don't know enough about NASCAR, but what I do know is it should, the daughter should be able to remember her dad, at least have a better understanding on his career and whatever, because, that's just the way that should be done. But right now, everyone's just saying stuff because everybody's in shock. They're wanting to honor him in the best way possible. And, I think that's where they're at right now. I mean, where do you draw the line, though, in terms of special exemptions here? It seems like we've gotten to the point where every time someone passes, we have to draw the we have to put the honor them in that way, when really, there shouldn't be. We have to figure out what exactly draws that honor, because it can't just be every time someone passes away.
Okay. Candy.
So there have been 4 iconic early inductees: Dale Earnhardt in 2010, Richard Petty in 2010, Bill France Sr. in 2010, and David Pearson in 2011. So they already have set a precedent before that. Did he change the game? Yes, I think he changed the game. He led in all 3 of the NASCAR, in the Cup Series, the Truck Series, and all of those series. So I think when you're going to do something like that, I think sometimes maybe ask his wife, ask the widow, and say, hey, we know he's going to get in. When would you like to see that? Would you like to see that when your daughter's a little bit older, or, we're considering doing it whenever? So I think, maybe asking her, because I could see it would be nice if the family was represented, if the family was there and the kids remember it. I could see that's, I also see waiting too. So
I don't know what language you're typing in there, Avgor E5R, so I cannot read your comments because it doesn't automatically translate to English for StreamYard or YouTube.
Thanks. Go ahead, Jen.
So this literally, as we were just talking about this, hit me. I think if they do anything for him, it needs to be focused on philanthropic efforts, because they also had started a wonderful charity where they were helping couples pay for IVF and adoption, because they had their own pregnancy struggles. So,
well, rest in peace, Kyle Busch. I hope he gets in as soon as possible. Timing will determine. I don't know, but nevertheless, I take a lot of stock though what Brad Keselowski says. I really, really, truly do, because I got to know Brad and I know where his heart and his head is. He's a heck of a driver as well. Let's continue on. John Fox returns, and he's joined the Buffalo Bills staff. Obviously, the former Carolina Panthers coach certainly could make an impact up in Buffalo. Jen, some thoughts about John Fox going up to Buffalo?
I love it. Keep it coming, Carolina Bills.
I love that. It's good. Carolina Bills. That was great. That comment is as pretty as you are, Jennifer. I love that. I like that. That's the 3 chicks in a pot and chicks and salsa that I know all about. Carolina Bills. I'll have to hashtag that. All right, Jeremy, some thoughts about Foxy returning up to Buffalo. And I'll get that. You're playing a beautiful
He's there as an assistant defensive coordinator, and I think it's to give a veteran voice to Joe Brady's new defensive coordinator and Jim Leonard. And that's just to help. It's kind of like the first year Dan Campbell was here with who he brought in to help Aaron Glenn. It can't hurt to have a veteran presence that's ran a defense before.
I agree. Okay, Ed.
I mean, he brings over 160 NFL head coaching wins, appearances with Carolina, the Panthers, and Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl, and 30 years of coaching. I mean, it sounds like you check that box and you move on and you start preparing for the season.
Okay, Mel.
I don't think you can have, like Eric said, I don't think you can, or Ed, I don't think you can have enough good coaches. So, I mean, it's great for him. We know he's a good coach. I'm sure he's been chomping at the bit to get back into the game. He got a young head coach there that can teach him a lot about how to run an organization and what it takes to be a head coach. I think it's a good opportunity for both of them.
What do I think about the Giants? Are going to be an improved team under John Harbaugh. That's what I think.
I think they'll be a much better team this year than last year. Will it be enough to get them into the playoffs? It depends on who has the 7th worst record in the conference. That's what it's going to boil down to, because I don't think they're good enough to win the division yet.
Okay. Eric?
I think it's great to have John Fox there. I don't know what it is with the Buffalo Bills having a thing for bringing Carolina Panthers coaches up to Western New York, because they did it with previously with Sean McDermott. But Jim Leonard's a good coach. I think, it doesn't hurt to have a guy as experienced as John Fox, who's taken 2 different teams to the Super Bowl and knows and has many years of coaching and knows how these kinds of things work. And it's not like he's been out of football long. He's been serving in an analyst capacity for a while now. So it's not like he's been completely outside the game, but having a guy with that experience, will definitely help Jim Leonard and his staff get the Buffalo Bills, back to contending in the AFC East and hopefully finally over the hump into the Super Bowl.
Okay, Candy.
When you bring in a familiarity, as general manager Brandon Beane, who worked with Fox before, that always helps. And yes, you have a young Jim Leonard obviously is good, but obviously he hasn't coached a lot in the NFL. So to bring that experience that Fox has, that's awesome. I mean, it can only help. Why wouldn't you want somebody that's very experienced, been in the league a long time, there to help?
Hey, Jen, we got to get you ready for ACC Media Day. So I have 2 topics that are right up your alley, young lady. Okay, you ready, Jen?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're going to talk about
That'll be fun to talk if he comes.
Well,
if you're going where I think you're going, by the way.
Oh, I plan to go up there. I have a lot of business to take care of up there. Jennifer's.
Yeah, your wife is buying me an espresso martini during that converson.
Yeah, that's what she's already told me, that she's already committed and the credit card's ready for you.
I think I know where this is going.
Don't get to it tonight, but Jennifer does. Jennifer's my baby sister, just so all you people that realize that she's my younger sister. Okay, well, let's get to Florida State, though. This is a much more G-rated topic for Jen and Candy, especially since the girls will be up there for ACC Media Day. FSU football's all-time record against each 2026 opponent is as follows. They're going to get New Mexico State. Florida State leads that one 1-0. The last meeting was on 10-3 of 1964. Get that. My God. Florida State won that one 36-0 in Tallahassee. Okay. SMU leads that series against Florida State 9-24, 2024. SMU won 42-16. All right, let's keep it going. Alabama, FSU takes them on. Alabama leads the series 3-2 2-1. First meeting was 10-23 of 65. Bama won 21-0 in Alabama. Last year, by the way, FSU pulled off the upset 31-17 in Tallahassee. Central Arkansas, first time both of these schools will be meeting. Virginia, FSU leads that series 15-5. The first meeting was 10-31 of 1992. FSU won 13-3 in Charlottesville, Virginia. The last meeting was 9-26-25. And UVA won that one 46-38 in Charlottesville. Keep it going. Louisville against Florida State. Florida State leads that series 18-6. First meeting was 10-23 of 65. When Louisville won that contest 41-14 in Tallahassee. The last meeting was 10-2 of 2023. Actually, FSU won the game 16-6 in Charlotte, North Carolina. I don't even know if you were there for that one, but they obviously must have been in the ACC championship game. We'll keep it going on.
I was there.
Oh, were you at that one? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay. Now they got the Miami Hurricanes lead that series against them. The Noles 37-33. The first meeting was 10-5, 1951. Miami won 35-13. Last one, Miami won, and that was in Miami. Miami won last year 28-22 in Tallahassee, Florida. Clemson, Florida State leads that series 21-17. First meeting 11-7, 1970. FSU won 38-13. Tallahassee, Florida. Last meeting 11-8, 2025. Clemson won 24-10. We'll keep it going. Boston College. Florida State leads that one, series 16-6. First meeting 9-28, 1957. Boston College won 20-7 in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts last year. Actually, Boston College won in 2024, 28-13. So Boston College has the Noles number. Pittsburgh, the Panthers, by the way. Their first meeting was 11-27 of 71. FSU won 31-13 in Tallahassee. The last meeting occurred on 10-11-25. Pitt won that one as well, 34-31 in Tallahassee. And NC State, my favorite team, not okay. And obviously that's why I have Candy and Jennifer are going to have those drinks because of this, okay. But anyways, the first meeting was 10-25, 1952. NC State won 13-7 in Raleigh. Last year, the meeting was 11-21-25. NC State won 21-11 against Raleigh. And then, of course, you have the rivalry game against the Florida Gators, where Florida leads that series 39-28-2. First meeting, 11-22 of 58. UF won 21-7 in Gainesville. Last year, the Gators pounced on the Noles, winning 40-21 in, you guessed it, Gainesville. All right, Jen. Obviously, this should give you an overview of some of the questions you might be asking Mike Norvell. What are your thoughts about the schedule that the Noles have in front of them?
I mean, Mike Norvell turned around FSU in 3-4 years, and got them where they should have been in the college playoffs. But as we all know, they got screwed. I think they're going to be fine. Do I think they're going to be going to the playoffs this year? No. But I think they're going to be fine. I respect Norvell a lot. I think he's got a great team. I think he has a great culture. And, you know, he really does treat it as every day as an interview. Because when you're college football in the ACC or, you know, in the SEC, every day is an interview. Every single day is an interview.
Jeremy?
They have a chance to have a winning record. Definitely better than last season. They should get a decent bowl game. Do I think they make the college playoffs? No.
Ed?
Yeah, kind of what Jeremy and Jen were saying. You know, they've got a winning record against 8 of the 12. They play Central Arkansas, so let's say that would be 9. Now, if they steal 1 or 2 games against Miami or Bama or even the Gators, you know, they end up with a 10 wins maybe. They probably don't get into the football championship, but they probably, as Jeremy said, they probably get a decent or good bowl game this year. They can get the 10 wins.
Mel?
It's really hard for me to say who's going to be their quarterback. I don't know who their quarterback is going to be. It's, you know, They have a couple games, that it looks like they should win, but it's going to be a dogfight week in and week out. It's going to be a difficult task for FSU. I don't think that they're, I think Alabama was going to be sitting there waiting for them after what transpired last year. ACC is a tough conference, not as tough as the Big Ten and the SEC, but it's tough for Florida State, especially the way they've been trending the last number of years. They haven't done well the last couple of years. It's been very, very difficult for them. So it just depends on who's playing quarterback for them. I don't know who's playing quarterback for them. They had that transfer from Boston College last year. Is he still there? Is he gone?
Was on there last year, but I don't know.
Yeah, he's gone.
Ashton Daniels, he's a transfer from Auburn.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's just that's going to be key is to who's playing that position and if they're going to be able to play that position and be effective playing that position.
Wasn't it just the 2024-25 season when they won the ACC and still got held out of the playoffs? Or no, the guy got hurt in the game, and that was their only loss.
Yeah, broke his leg.
But they had a better record than 4 of the teams they put in the playoffs, is what I'm getting at. They should have been in.
The committee
went for the optics.
Yeah, the committee says that they can use
because
that.
they got screwed, that's when that's when most of their players entered the portal. And the players didn't enter the portal because of Norville. They entered the player portal because the NCAA screwed them and put Alabama in when Alabama had a much worse record. And Alabama just got in on legacy. And that's it.
That seems
to work bounced by Michigan.
Yeah, that seems to work that way a lot, though, Jen. Alabama gets the benefit of the doubt. DOUBT, 48 point, exclamation point. Okay. That's that. Okay, but you're right, John. And of course, they took it on the chin against Georgia in that lopsided Orange Bowl. Okay, who's left to talk? Oh, we got Eric. And Candy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I think they've kind of fallen off since being snubbed out of the college football playoff, and it was in the worst way possible. They go from 13-1 to 2-10. Last year was a bit of a bounce back, although it's very easy to climb back from 2-10 to go to like 5-7. But I think this year they'll be okay. They'll get into a decent bowl game, but I just don't see the playoff in their future this year. Although they do have they definitely have an interesting group of quarterbacks group, so we shall see how that shapes out.
Okay, Candy.
Yeah, their quarterback room is Ashton Daniels. He's a senior transfer from Auburn, previously Stanford. He's known for his solid athleticism. He was officially named the starter by head coach Mike Norvell in April. Then you have Kevin Sperry, a sophomore transfer who pushed Daniels into a tight spring competition and serves as the primary backup. Malachi Marshall, quarterback transfer from Iowa Western Community College, and Jaden O'Neal, an incoming freshman from Long Beach, California. Do I see FSU could make a good bowl game, but not the playoffs?
Now, my goal here for Norvell on that schedule, stay off the hot seat. He's a good coach. He didn't take a dumb pill when he went to Florida State. I just hope he keeps his job with a respectable record. Jen, your final topic of the night still relates to Florida State. Okay, I want to make sure she gets out on 9:00. This should be very easy for you. Florida State kicker Jake Weinberg is committed to arch rival Miami. And here's the whole situation here. Miami had a great kicker and Andy Borregales, and we all know the history about FSU and Miami rivalry. What are your thoughts about, obviously, this kicker going to Miami?
I mean, I'm not going to lie. The last 2 years, FSU has lost several key players to Miami.
Right.
Unpopular opinion. I think people think more of Miami than Miami is at this current time.
Okay.
I think FSU will actually have a better record. So because last year they lost their quarterback to Miami, then they lost their now this year they're losing their, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's people really want to be down in Miami and that's why, or because you get more looks from the NFL in Miami. But I mean, Miami's had some winning seasons, but I don't know. I think people think that Miami is better than it is. Just my humble opinion. And I'm not trying to knock Miami.
I'm actually looking forward to talking to Mario Cristobal and seeing my buddy Cameron Gorby. He's the only decent PR guy I got in Miami to work with. He gives me room to work. Otherwise, I bark at the other ones. I don't go to their game. Come on, you gotta like Cameron. You gotta like. But all right, so
and I'm not knocking them because they're on a good path. Right. But just historically speaking, even what have you done for me lately?
Okay, fair enough. I love it. And guess what? To get you out on time, you know what I'm going to do, Jen? Why don't you let everybody know how they get a hold of you, and we'll get you out of here exactly right away. How's that?
Thanks, Scott. Y'all can check me out on Facebook at Jennifer Matthews Lewis. You can get me on Twitter at Jenna Cheryl, the professional fan. Same with Instagram. Candy and I, our show is usually on Tuesday nights at 7:30. Last night we did it on Monday night. Eddie, didn't you say that last year? And for refresh my memory, who was it that won last year? Oh yeah, Duke. So like Duke did the sweep last year, y'all. Like they did the ACC sweep. So props to them. And my husband is like kicking me out of the house for saying that now because he's a huge Heels fan. But it's true. They did a sweep last year. You can also find me, like I said, 3 Chicks in a Pod on our Facebook page, and basically anywhere. Check out our YouTube page as well, and I will put that and the link on our Facebook page. I'll put that link up there again. And just a side note, I have a young lady who is a neighbor of mine and a friend. She's a rising senior. She's got a 3.93 GPA while she's all AP classes, concurrently doing college courses as well. And she was invited to go to Caltech this summer for a Women in STEM seminar. That's a couple of days long. So I started GoFundMe to help pay for her travel and lodging. So if anybody feels like even donating $5, she would really appreciate it. She's really worth the investment.
Well, you know what? You're worth the investment as my younger sister to have on the show.
Brother.
You know how I feel. And now, obviously, Jennifer and Candy are thinking, how do we corral the Motor City Madmouth from going after his arch rival, the head coach of North Carolina State? I know Jennifer and Candy are scheming something up to keep me.
Hey, I already know what I'm doing. Yeah, I made him laugh last year, okay? So I'm working on my question for him to make him laugh this year again. I'm just saying.
I have a plan, just like Martin Luther King had a dream.
Hey, I worked 4 years on getting that man to laugh or actually give me props for a good question, and he did it last year.
Well, wait till I get him in front of me. Oh, Nelly.
Candy, it might be a double espresso martini you're paying for.
I know. Okay. I know.
Mel, give her the credit card.
She's already got the credit card. I don't even hold the credit card. I don't hold the credit card.
Guys, it was great.
I don't even hold the credit card. Hey, listen, Jen. Hey, we love you, Jen. Hang in there, and best wishes to you, your husband, and all that.
It's good to see you.
Take care. Yep.
And I got to ask you. I want to ask her at some point what coaches she's actually looking forward to going out there and seeing up at that media day. By the way, she can tell me whatever she wants.
Honestly, I'm an ACC fan. You know, like I just am. My personal favorite college in the ACC is BC because my grandmother was the first graduating class of women from Boston College. And nice. So
Bill O'Brien?
Yeah. And Bill O'Brien did a good job with them last year.
I like Bill O'Brien. I'll tell you that story when we get up there. But I want to get you out on time. Love you, Jen. Thanks for being
Love
back.
you too. Bye, y'all. Thanks for having me on. It was good to see you guys.
Great seeing you. All right, Jeremy, you know the drill. Let's talk about obviously Weinberg going to Miami. What are your thoughts? Andy Borregales obviously did a whale of a job as a place kicker, and he's with the Patriots.
They needed a kicker to replace him, so they went out and got the best one they could close to home. They probably offered him money to come in because they've got NIL money.
Right. Okay. And
NIL money plus South Beach would get pretty much anybody down there as a the kicker to play anything. So Might as well. It's kind of good for him.
Mel.
Okay, where'd the kicker come from? Is this the one that came from Northwestern or the one that came from Texas?
Florida State.
Florida
Oh,
State.
Florida State. Oh, okay,
Or State go to Miami.
Yeah, I'm way out the loop. And yeah, I don't really follow kickers too much. I don't really follow the transaction wire on kickers in the portal. So I don't have much to add there on that one. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it, Mel. I got plenty for you. Don't worry about it. We'll move on to Catsy. I got plenty more for you, Far. You're good.
I mean, we're forgetting here that Miami was just in the national championship last year. I don't think anybody's mentioned that. We're talking about Miami this, Miami that, but they were just in the national championship last year, and that actually helps their stock when it comes to recruits. Granted, they didn't win, but going far in the college football playoff will net you a lot of recruits, whether you win or you lose.
Andy.
Okay, let's put it all out there. He actually grew up in Delray Beach. So he's a Delray Beach native. Miami tried recruiting him before Florida State got him. Florida State got him. Now Miami recruited him back down. Last year he converted 12 of 19 field goal attempts and was a perfect 46 for 46 on extra points. Miami also brought in Northwestern transfer Jack Olson to compete for the kicking duties following the departure of former starter Carter Davis. What they have decided is that the Hurricanes plan to utilize both of them as specialized roles, such as long distance kicks, field goals, kickoff duties, and the like. So kudos to Miami. I mean, they've got money. They want to spend it. They want to be relevant. They want to be the program in the state of Florida.
All right, let's talk about college football's most underrated head coaches. I love this topic. It really is a good one because there's a lot of good coaches out there that should be recognized. SMU head coach Rhett Lashley did a really good job for the Mustangs. Jeff Brom, one of my favorites. I had a chance to talk to him last year, and he actually Louisville beat Miami. One of the few funerals I didn't go to, but Jeff Brom is a really class act for sure. BYU head coach Kalani Sitake actually Penn State was interested. He said, I'll stay at BYU. Not a bad move. Washington head coach Chad Fish. Okay. Tennessee head coach Josh Heupel. Gotta like him. My buddy John Bonamago was over there as an assistant. Yeah. But, he's done a pretty good job at Tennessee. Georgia Tech head coach Brent Key, who was actually a lot of people were interested in him, but he opted to stay in Atlanta. And Houston head coach Willie Fritz. Those are your guys. Okay, Jeremy, which one stands out to you?
Probably the guy at Boston College, because he's in ACC and nobody expects a lot out of him. If he's able to make something happen, it'll be big.
Talk about Bill O'Brien. He's not even there. He's not on that list.
What you said one, and it sounded like a B name. So I'm trying to figure out who you were talking about for the college.
Well, we got Brent Key.
No. I'm talking about the college
I'm just messing
name.
with you, Ballrick. Okay, let's see what other B names I got here. Jeff Rome.
He said the college name.
The college name sounded like you said it with a B. That's why I thought it was Boston College.
Okay. I'll look in. Here, now you got me thinking here. Okay, let's see. All right, well, go ahead. If you want to put Bill Bryan in there to put Boston College, I'll give him anyways.
No, there was a name that stuck out with me, and I blanked out. Sorry.
I'm kidding with you. Go ahead. So you want me to go over the list again?
No, that's okay. I don't have an answer because I can't remember who it is.
Well, I'll tell you what. Jeff Brom, in my opinion, stands out. Obviously for Louisville, he's done a heck of a job. He went from actually Purdue over to Louisville and to his alma mater. But that's okay. We'll continue on.
Well, anybody leaving Purdue is doing a good thing.
Okay, there's your answer. You can take that one. Purdue.
No, I'm going to support Jeremy and say Bill O'Brien from Boston College because you got to think about it for a second. To win at a small Catholic university, Boston College is not a big school, and to be able to kind of compete in the ACC and put a team on there that is respectable, that's saying something. When you don't, you're not pulling from like the Miamis and the Dukes and the North Carolina student bodies. So,
Miami's a small private school too. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
that's. I hear what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. We'll say it's on the same level as a Boston College.
What do you have against Catholics? I went to an all boys Catholic high school.
Oh, so did no. So did I. I'm saying that's why I get to. I went to university and high school, so I got it. Yeah, I'm a little more warped than that. Anyway, no, I was just saying, good Catholic university. You know, the Catholics and the convicts, right? Anyway.
Yeah, but we're not talking about my. Oh, yeah, we did mention Miami. Never mind.
Yeah, Mel brought up Miami, so it's like, anyway.
And
but is it a private school? Is Miami a private
yes.
school? Oh, is it? I didn't know
school.
that. I thought it was a state school like the rest of them.
And Mel's busting your chops.
Oh, I know he is. I know he is.
Listen, I had to deal with all his nonsense when I had to deal with.
Well, I'm not busting his chops about Miami being a private school, but I just but it's
probably
Catholic.
But he did mention a small Catholic school, and to put Miami in that same category, oof, that was the convict school.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And you're getting the Diego Pavia treatment that I got from
Farm. Yeah, that's all right.
We went a week or two without that name, and here you go bringing him up.
Yeah,
Diego Pavia is back
because you're busting his chops, man. That's okay.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
All right, Mel, go ahead. Anybody stand out now that?
Well, I think Georgia Tech is a tough job, and what Brent Keys has done down here at Georgia Tech is very commendable. It's a tough place to win, even though it is. Because it's a tough school to get in, but we know there's a lot of talent here, and what he's done here at downtown at Georgia Tech, I think, is I think a lot of people should take notice. But one guy I really think that is underrated, even though he gets a lot of attention, and a lot of people talk about him for potential NFL jobs and things of that nature. I think Marcus Freeman is an underrated coach as well. And I know we're not talking about him, but I do believe he's an underrated coach. I don't think anybody expected him to do what he's done there at Notre Dame and to have the type of success that he's had, especially when Brian Kelly left for what he felt was a better opportunity to win a natty down there in LSU.
Yeah, I got a good topic lined up for Kelly in the coming weeks. Don't worry, but I'm glad you brought him up now. Great stuff. Okay, Mel. I like that. Okay, Eric.
I got to go with Brett Keys. I mean, he's at a school where it's not easy to recruit. He's playing in the ACC where you have Miami and Duke and other schools where it's not easy to recruit. But yeah, he's taken Georgia Tech to 3 straight bowl games. He's clearly turned around a team that was left in shambles after Jeff Collins needlessly ran it into the ground. And so, he's doing a good job there. I mean, this is the best they've looked in a really long time. I mean, you'd have to go back to Paul Johnson when he was there, when he had his run there. But he quickly turned them around, and despite not getting the cream of the crop recruits, he's actually doing a great coaching job and getting his guys to play winning football.
Andy.
Yeah, I kind of like the Jeff Brom. I mean, I guess I didn't realize he's coaching for where his alma mater. I didn't realize that he played college football for Louisville under Scott, your favorite Howard Schnellenberger. I did not realize that he played for him. Yep.
I love Coach Schnellenberger is like my dad.
I know.
Happy Father's Day in heaven, Coach Schnellenberger.
And the other thing I didn't know about Coach is that he was selected in the MLB draft in the 4th round by the Cleveland Indians. And that was not even the first time. He was
Schellenberger or Brom?
Brom.
Oh, okay.
After graduation from high school, he was selected by the Expos in the 7th round of the '89 draft, but instead decided to pursue playing football and baseball at the University of Louisville. And then after he got selected again, but he decided he wanted to stick with football. And he dropped baseball. But to be drafted by 2 different MLB teams and yet be a head football coach and having the success that he's having, his career record is 94-56.
Well, you said Jeff Brom was one of my favorites, period. End of topic. Okay, we'll talk about the retirement of former Detroit Lions cornerback Darius Slay, 3 Pro Bowls. He wanted to retire as a Detroit Lion, ended up going to Pittsburgh, but I was hoping he'd get to Detroit. Jeremy, some thoughts about the retirement of Darius Slay?
I think it was due. His play started to diminish over the last 2 seasons, and a rookie took his place last year as the starter for the
Right.
Philadelphia Eagles. And I just think he saw the writing on the wall. He's pushing over 30, and he lost a step or two. He became a better zone corner than a press man, and they had a press man defense, and he didn't fit the bill anymore.
And
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's hard for guys to know when it's time. And he had a good career. He made 6 Pro Bowls. He was first team All Pro in 17. He had an accomplished season. And it's sometimes we can't always retire where we want to retire. And he did what he needed to do. And I think he'll be remembered as a Detroit Lion more than he will be any other team. So.
No, he did win a Super Bowl with the Eagles.
Yeah. And I wish I had the video on it, but I decided to add that at the last minute. But he told me he wanted to play with the Lions. It just never worked out. But
he wanted to, but Quinn, our old coach Matt Patricia ran him off.
Yeah, but he told me he wanted to play for Dan Campbell.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing about Darius. So he, to me, is one of those types of guys that. He's a class act. It was really a pleasure. Candy, you saw that interview, right? I mean, this guy was just truly a class act, wasn't he? He recorded it.
Yes, he was.
Well, Candy, anything you want to add to Darius Slay before I turn over to Eric and Mel?
Well, I was going to see if I could, while you were talking to the two of them, see if I could quick drum up the interview.
Well, why don't you do that, and we'll just wait till the end. Go ahead, Mel.
I mean, Derek. I think Jeremy said he was on the north end of 30. I mean, he's 35 years old, so he's played 13 years in the league. Losing a step or two for him is not really a big deal. He's a 4.36 guy. You lose a step or two, you're 4.4. That's not really a big deal for him. But it comes to a time where physically he can probably still go out there and do it, but mentally he just doesn't want to do it anymore. All the things that you have to do to prepare to play on to play on Sunday. Not just the practice. The practice is okay. It's all the workout, the conditioning that you have to do to be, to get yourself ready. Training camp. Nobody likes training camp, and then you have a grueling 17-game season. It's not easy. During the season, obviously, it's a little bit easier. But if you're not on a team that's winning, it becomes even more difficult. You're thinking even more about retirement. I think we talked about him last year. I think he was talking about retirement, and so anytime you start talking about retirement, you're retired. Your body just hasn't followed your mind yet. So it's great for him. It's time. He's had a great career. He left. Detroit got rid of him because they didn't want to pay him. That was at that time, I think, when Patricia was there, and they ran off a lot of good football players at that particular time, not giving guys second contracts. But good for him. He's had a very good career, made himself some money. And now he can just go back and enjoy himself and spend time with his family and, do things that he's always wanted to do, whatever that is.
We actually traded him away that last year in his contract year because of Matt Patricia.
Yeah, Matt Patricia, I have zero respect for him. Obviously, he's done all right for Ohio State.
You know my nickname. I'll say it if you want me to.
Yeah, I don't care on this show. Nobody's going to beat you up over it this time.
Matt Patricia.
Right. I won't hashtag it, but you can say it. All right. I want to make sure Jeremy can vent a little bit by saying it tonight. So Matt Patricia,
possibly the worst coach in Lions history.
Okay.
No, I think Rod Marinelli. He was right up.
Rod Marinelli gets my vote for worst.
Rod Marinelli still almost won more games than Matt Patricia in less years.
Yeah, but
with an 0-16.
He's going to get paid for the. Wait a minute, Jeremy.
0-16 season.
Hold it. He's going to get nailed for that stupid winless season, but he got fired on my birthday. That was a good birthday present for me.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm saying
Matt Patricia gets honorable mention for being number 2.
I'm not going to argue with you. I mean, they're both terrible.
I love what Rob Parker did to Rod Marinelli at the press conference when I was over there. Oh, he buried his butt. I was cheering Rob on to bury him because he was higher up in the. Listen, I'm in Carolina. Now I got a story. This gives Candy time to get that interview for Slay if you don't already have it already. But
you can't filibuster the whole time, Scott.
Huh?
You can't filibuster the whole time until she gets that video.
No, it's not okay. Rob Parker's. You talk about assassinating somebody's character.
Oh God.
Oh, I let him go. I kept nudging Rob in the back. Keep it up. And Rob said, "We're not doing it." Rob and I are still really good friends, man. We really are. But he was letting Marinelli have it. But I'll give you your due with Patricia. He was awful, no doubt.
At least Marinelli didn't run off players like Patricia did.
Now, all he did was fly to Oakland and take a day trip to Oakland and take his team without a hotel, which I think is bad. I started the Travel Channel, by the way.
Monday morning one was bad too.
On here, and you talk about one of the worst gaffes I've ever seen. Really, seriously, really, how do you fly a team for a preseason game to Oakland to think you're a military guy trying to make a point? You didn't make a point. You made an idiot out of yourself. Okay, how did I get there? Who's supposed to talk about wherever we're at?
I am.
Eric's up.
Go ahead.
Well,
Eric.
Oh, well, you can make the argument Marinelli was in over his head, but but here's the thing with Darius Slay. I mean, I wish he would have ended as a Lion too. That's where he was in the prime, where he spent his prime, and he unfortunately just was unable to. I thought like he just did not get the ending that he deserved in Detroit, given what he had given to that franchise, especially in some lean years. He did win a Super Bowl ring with the Eagles, but 35, his play was starting to diminish a little bit. I think he was leaving at the right time. I mean, yeah, you could probably go back out there as a slot corner or a situational guy, but I don't think he wanted to do that. So he called it quits. So he had a nice productive career.
And Candy.
Yeah, I did find the clip here. The problem is we were in one big room and there was all kinds of other people talking around. So I think honestly, if you want to hear it, it is in our videos under the South Florida Tribune. I'd play it, but there's so much background noise that I don't think you'd be able to hear it as much on this video here. But yes, he does talk about how Dan Campbell was building the culture and how it was a great culture. And that he would have welcomed actually going back to Detroit, but it just didn't work out for whatever reason. And so, but yeah, that was right before they played the Super Bowl because we were there the media week before leading up to the Super Bowl. So, but yeah, definitely anyone that wants to listen to Darius Slay talking to us. Again, it was Super Bowl week and it was in this one room and there's too much background noise that I think it wouldn't play well.
All right, don't worry about it. Let's talk about the newest edition of the Mid-American Conference because the MAC has voted to formally add FCS Sacramento State into the league as a football-only member starting in 2026. The cost entrance is expected to be $18 million, and a deal obviously was announced. Let's continue the story. You're talking the Hornets are actually going to pay an $18 million fee to join the conference. Go figure that. I mean, you're paying $18 million. Yeah, I'd go ahead and buy your way in there too. Let's keep it going. And obviously, the Hornets at the time were saying, take my money for gosh sakes. They wanted to get into FBS in the worst way. They really did. But the Sacramento State deal goes for 5 years, and Hornets will take no conference distributions. And that also includes travel. Jeremy, give me your thoughts on the Hornets going to the MAC.
It's a good move to get out of FCS and possibly get yourself to a mid-major conference that if you're able to pull off the win, you might even be able to pull off a playoff berth. Let's figure it. Let's face it. They're not going to get it in FCS. And there's so many national championships in FCS because of the regional value that they do it. It's like there's 8 of them every year.
Right. That's true. Ed?
Oh, it's very interesting. They're kind of stepping outside. They're stepping east, if you will. They're 1,000 miles from the closest MAC school. They'll be the first first Western state, Western University football school out there. Good for them. Maybe they'll be the next James Madison and kind of make some noise or something like that. It's a hefty price tag, so hopefully the return on investment is there for them.
Well, keep in mind too that they're going to pay $6 million of that $18 million entry fee in year one, so the conference is going to get a bit of money from the get go. Go ahead, Mel. I like the James Madison reference, though.
You said that Sacramento State, they're drawing the MAC.
Yes,
I mean, that's nice. I think it's going to be nice for the kids in that are here up there in the Midwest, get an opportunity to travel out west, check out Sacramento, play out there in Sacramento. I actually played out in Sacramento when I was with the Surge, so Sacramento's a nice little town. Everybody's trying to move up. Everybody thinks they can win that natty. Every university feels that their team should be in the college playoffs. So Sacramento State is no different. So, and the only way you can get there is you gotta move up. So, good for them.
Yeah, I'll tell you another interesting stat. The closest NAC school to Sacramento is Western Michigan, 2,177 miles away. I mean, so when you think about it, you got Eastern Michigan, Kent State, Miami of Ohio, Toledo, Western Michigan, Central Michigan, Buffalo, New York. Imagine taking that trip. Bowling Green of Ohio, Ball State, Akron, Ohio, and UMass. Well, imagine what that trip's going to be like as well. So, yeah, I think it's just unbelievable, but more power to them. I give Sacramento State the benefit of the doubt, and they're willing to pay the money to do it, so can't complain there. And another thing that's worth mentioning is that this will be the first West Coast Conference to make the jump to FBS in well over a generation. The total cost is $23 million, and Sacramento would also need to pay an additional $5 million to the NCAA to move up. Boy, there you go. So that move would keep the ACC at 13 schools. They'll replace Northern Illinois, which is leaving the Mountain West next year. Eric?
I think Sacramento State's doing this part of it too is because it's money for them, because you're gonna make more money in the FBS than you ever will in the FCS, even if they're playing like a big time school like Ohio State, for instance, or like one of the a large school like UCLA or any D1 school. It's like a money grab game. You're still making bank regardless of whether you get the brakes blown out of you 58-0. But it's a money grab. It's also something that they both just that they need to do, and I think James Madison's kind of serving as like an inspiration, if you will, saying if James Madison can win at that level, so can I.
Candy.
So part of it is the Sac State is foregoing all MAC media revenue distributions for 5 years. They're going to cover the air travel cost for all visiting MAC teams to come to them. And because of the NC2A reclassification rules, the Hornets will not be eligible to compete for the MAC championship or in bowl games for their first 2 seasons. They will become fully bowl eligible beginning in 2028. And yeah, I was going to say about that it's costing him $23 million, not just the $18 million to the MAC. 5 gets paid to the NC2A.
Okay. All right, let's continue on to another interesting story that obviously took place during the winter. College football isn't enjoyable anymore. Montana's head football coach Bobby Hawk steps away from football amid the landscape of college football now, and he was there at his alma mater for 14 seasons. So let's go over the history of this guy, because it's really interesting. Okay, number one, dealing with college football is not as enjoyable. Obviously, that was his main thing. I just haven't been enjoying it enough. I want to enjoy my career and my job. A lot of coach stuff in current day Division I is just not enjoyable. Again, obviously it's referring to NIL and the transfer portal, and they've had a pretty good program up in Montana for a while. He said dealing with the agents and transient nature of the lack of forward thinking by young people, which has never been a strong suit for centuries for young people, and now they've got adults pushing them and pulling them in different directions. I got tired of all that, the dealing with agents and transient nature of it. So they broke my camel back. There's nothing left that has been residual. So there you go, Jeremy. Another coach obviously got sick and tired of all the drama that's going on. His name is Bobby Hawk of the Montana Grizzlies.
Right. 7 straight Big Sky titles in his first tenure from 2003 to 2009. He returned to coach them again In 2018 to 25, where he added another Big Sky title, reached the 2023 national championship game, and then in 2025 reached the FCS finals. His overall record was 151-43. He had 4 national championship appearances total: 2004, 2008, 2009, and 2023. What else can you say? He was everything to the Montana Grizzlies.
Yeah, he heck of a coach. Ed,
He was that. He was also the winningest coach in Big Sky Conference history. Just to add to what Jeremy was saying, 8 Big Sky conferences. What I find interesting, though, he was 5 days after he announced his retirement. He took the. He's now the defensive coordinator for the Illinois Fighting Illini. So what it says to me, and I think we're going to see more of this as time goes by, that the guys who are the head coaches still want to coach, but they don't want to deal with the crap that is the NIL and portal and all that stuff directly. So they'll go and they'll be a coordinator, maybe a position coach, and then they will be able to still coach, be an influence, but not have to deal with that crap directly. It'll be an indirect impact to them. So good for him. It's all about being happy. Life's short. Do what you like. Move on to the next challenge.
okay, Mel.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Chip Kelly do that. We saw him leave UCLA. I mean, that's a big time job. I know some people might not think so. Marvin might disagree with me, but he left the head coaching position to become the offensive coordinator at Ohio State. I think you have to be the right type of person. You have to have the right type of makeup to be able to coach in college football today. You're going to have to be more of a CEO type of a person, and you're going to have to deal with a lot of things that you didn't deal with in the past. And some coaches just don't want all those responsibilities. And when you're at a small school, you probably don't have the opportunity to have a general manager to handle the NIL stuff. You're probably handling all that stuff yourself because you just don't have the money to be able to go out there and hire the talent that's necessary to deal with today's college football. So he had a great run there at Montana, decided he wanted to step away from the game and take a position somewhere else as a position coach. Great for him. I mean, he's a coach at heart, obviously, just wasn't enjoying doing what he was doing at Montana and decided to go somewhere else.
I think it's no surprise. I mean, this is the way college football is. But that's just the way things are going because nowadays it's just college football. It's becoming harder and harder to keep these kids around without upping the ante with money. And what even in college sports, the money just doesn't grow on the trees. But nowadays coaches who are head guys may not necessarily want to deal with the new college football now, but they still like coaching the kids and being able to be around that. I mean, don't be surprised though if more and more college head coaches parlay their experience into NFL coordinating jobs, because that's what Jeff Hafley did from Boston College. He left Boston College to go and be the Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator. Then he parlayed that to be the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. So, but don't be surprised if we see more of that because they like the coaching and all that, but they just do not want the NIL garbage that goes along with that.
Great point, Eric. Loved it. Great stuff. Okay. Candy.
Yeah, pretty much what everybody else has said on the panel. I mean, let's face it, some people enjoy molding men and actually coaching football instead of trying to recruit and NIL. And that's what a head coach really has to do is recruit constantly, not only from outside, but even recruit the guys you have inside the program as well. Jeremy.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
I wanted to add, don't forget, Montana just joined the conference that was with Boise State and FBS. So now he's not only competing with other FCS schools to get people to come, he's competing with the FBS schools of the Mountain West Conference. And I think that's why he decided to retire, because he doesn't want to deal with FBS recruiting, FBS NIL, and FBS everything else. When he was in the FCS, he was the cream of the crop. We just gave his stats. In the FBS, he's a guppy.
Well, Jeremy, that's a great point. Let me tell you, if you're not enjoying your job anymore, you just don't do it. Period. With that said, Candy, it's time for a station break. And also, let's talk about the newest channel that we have. And I'm wearing it on my hat.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth, talks about his 40-plus years in the business and how it has evolved, old school media versus new school media. Go get your copy today. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. The audiobook is also out there. There's a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where 3 of the panelists have written for us, Scott, Jeremy, and Eric, all. So go to our website and check out their writings. If you'd like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. If you want to be a guest or have topic ideas or you want to sponsor a show, you can email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. If you see the red subscribe button in that lower right-hand corner, that means you have not yet subscribed to us. Please do so. Click the subscribe button and then turn on your notifications so you're notified every time we go live. Last but not least, we have a new travel YouTube channel. It's called Destination Discoveries Media Network. Go check it out. We are putting up all kinds of videos from our travels. We have ones up already from Spain, some of the ones from Key West. We're going to have more coming up. So definitely please subscribe to Destination Discoveries Media Network. In fact, right now, the QR code in that top left corner right now is Destination Discoveries. So please subscribe to that channel as well. Back to you, Scott.
Okay, Candy and Jeremy has a request. We'll grant it. That new logo he made, the guy gets a hat. All right. After all, we always like great art, and he'll definitely get one. We'll work on that once we go back and order some new hats.
I was shocked I didn't see it on the screen.
I don't know. I don't handle that stuff. That's over my head. All right, let's keep it going.
I know. Candy knows what I'm talking about.
Come on, you guys know me better than I put this stuff together. That's what keeps me whole from all
I know you do. I'm just, hey, I appreciate what you do, Scott, as well.
I love you, Jeremy. That's all there's to it. Leave it at that. Get your segment later. You can say more.
And so, look, as we went to a different half, I had to change hats because now this hat is.
Oh, listen, I got a new one on here. Destination Discoveries. They didn't do so bad in Key West. We had some good videos for all you people out there who haven't subscribed to Destination Discoveries. Candy put it out there. We got some great videos. It seems to be busy this weekend putting them all up. Great stuff. We got made some new friends down there as well. Let's keep it going here. The Jaguars plan to play Travis Hunter as a full-time cornerback, part-time wide receiver in 2026. Paul Rick, do you like the move?
Yes, because I said this to begin with, that he should develop at corner and only play wide receiver sparingly, because cornerback is the hardest transition in the NFL for a lot of these young players. And by taking a lot of that wide receiver pressure off of him, he doesn't have to be the guy anymore. They have plenty of the guys they've drafted there with the Jaguars. He can be a weapon on the 3rd and 4th wide receiver when they do those 3 and 4 wide receiver sets. I like it. I think it's going to help him with his cornerback development, because we saw as he got better as a wide receiver, his cornerback play diminished a little bit. And I think that was due to the fact he was just a rookie and not focusing on his craft.
Couldn't agree more, Jeremy. I think he should start off as a cornerback. Jacksonville just needs to get more wide receiver. Let him do that and use them once in a great while. Don't burn this guy out. Yes, you want to play both positions, but we know why we need help in the secondary, and use them when they need them, not all the time. You don't want this kid's career to come to an end prematurely. And
right, and exactly, and he's coming off a knee injury, so let's ease him back into the wide receiver thing. Let him play the corner. I like Jeremy's idea. Put him in that that 3rd or 4th wide receiver in those larger sets, and just kind of ease him along. Let's kind of let's work at his pace and kind of let him grow into the positions. And I think he's going to be a superstar one day.
And by the way, special note to you, Mel Farr, your segment's going to debut tonight, so think of what you want to talk about at the very end of the broadcast. We'll make a really great time.
Welcome,
he's going to learn what it's like to take an NXT.
Welcome to Working with Scott.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, he's been with me a long time. Mel's been great. He's been my rock, man. He carries the rock. He's been my rock. But meanwhile, you can think about Travis Hunter, and then you'll have something to talk about the end. We'll do segments finishing up. We have Jeremy and the debuts of Mel tonight. All right, but you get Hunter first, Mr. Farr.
Well, I've said it before. They're not going to ask Trevor Lawrence to go play safety. Why? He's not getting 2 checks. You only have so many hits in your body. You only have so many reps in your body. Why are you playing 2 positions? They're not giving you 2 paychecks. So there's no reason for you to go out there and try to do something just because nobody else did it or nobody thinks that you can do it. It doesn't matter. You did it in college. You got all those reps under you in college. You got a lot of plays underneath your belt. There's no need to do this in the NFL. There's guys out there that get paid to play wide receiver. Let them play wide receiver. You play defensive back or wide receiver, whichever one. Settle on a position, play one, because you're only getting paid for one, and be the very, very best at it.
Eric?
Great point.
I think it's good to have him at corner. I mean, it's a much harder position to play. Maybe throw him in a package here and there where he's a wide receiver, but other than that, have him focus on being receiver. It's hard. I mean, receivers, you can grow those guys on trees in the NFL, but being a corner, like there's very few that develop into great defensive players at that position. So have him focus on there, because if he's great at that, then wide receiver will be easy for him.
Candy.
I agree with Mel. I mean, you go in, yeah, I know you want to be the first player to do both positions, but you know what? In the NFL, you have pros doing each position. So pick the position that either you enjoy the most or the one that you excel at the most. Focus on that and just do that. Like Mel said, you're not going to get 2 paychecks. The fact of the matter is you're more likely to get injured if you're putting that much stress and strain on your body. The NFL, you don't have a long career. The average lifespan is only how many years these days?
3.5 years.
Yes.
And if you're going to do both sides, like that might even go less. So I would pick one, excel at that, and make the most money you can, because like Mel said, you're not going to get 2 paychecks. You don't get a paycheck for being a wide receiver and on the defensive side. So play one, play it as well as you can, make your money now while you can, and then live your life. You don't need to do both.
Okay, very good. Love it. Enjoyed everything. Go ahead,
Say,
Jeremy.
that's a great looking logo right there above.
That is a great looking logo.
Okay, all right,
next to a great looking face.
Yeah,
right.
There you go. There you go. I'll tell you what, I got McAndrew on twice a week. He's in this, and then he's going to have one whale of a show come Thursday night. Let me tell you, I got a lot of stuff cooking for that one. But we'll go ahead. Inside, actually, I like that logo. I actually might have to get
a good logo.
Candy, you might have to order bolts for all these guys too, because they're on this show. It's just more money for us, but what's the difference? It is what it is. It's just because Ballrick hit the jack. We'll give him the first one. We'll deal with the other ones later on as time goes on.
I think we should all get like Letterman jackets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
or
go.
polos. That's cheaper.
I wasn't athletic enough to get a Letterman jacket. Jeez, Pete, my younger brother Lonnie got one for being on the horsemanship team.
I got you. I got a hook up on that.
My younger brother Lonnie got a Letterman jacket for being on the horsemanship at Lakeland High School at the time in Milford, Michigan. What did I get? A career in journalism. Not so bad. I wasn't a letterman. I was just writing the letters. Go figure. But, all right. Anyways, where we at? Who we at with? Is that it for this topic?
Candy.
Good.
I think Candy's on it.
Candy,
right?
go ahead, Candy.
No, Candy finished the topic. She agreed with Mel.
She did. All right.
Okay.
Good. Carson. All right. Carson Wentz is back with the Vikings in 2026. You like to move Jeremy?
No, I don't, because I don't think he can beat out even J.J. McCarthy, let alone Kyler Murray, who's actually leading that job for right now, according to what I'm reading from reports out of Minnesota. And I have to pay attention to him because they're in my division.
Exactly. Okay, go ahead.
If he's in there to be the senior leader, if you will, maybe. But I don't know. I mean, I think he's probably going to be too high priced for a third stringer, so he may be in and out.
Okay. Mel?
I don't begrudge a guy getting a check. You know, how I feel about him as a player is irrelevant. I'm not upset with him hanging around, see if he can get another check, maybe get another Super Bowl as well. I don't have a problem with that at all.
Eric?
I don't see him hanging. You know, Minnesota clearly likes Kyler. You know, Kyler Murray at the moment. They also have JJ McCarthy there waiting in the wings. Yeah. So, but you know, good for him for collecting some money while he can. But he's not gonna last through. He's not gonna make it out of training camp.
Hey, Carson Wentz was a favorite of mine at the Super Bowl. The only thing I'll say about Carson Wentz is this, and I had an opportunity. I think Candy was a one-on-one with him, didn't I? At that time when I got him, but you don't have to look up that tape because we're moving along real well. I'll say this about Carson: say what you want about whether he's breaking down or not, but there's one thing you cannot go ahead and make up for: is experience and being on the playing field and being able to guide the other quarterbacks. And I think that's worth it in its own respect. Candy, finish it off.
I realize that I'm going to say something that's not real popular here, but he's only 33 years old. There are other quarterbacks in this league that are in their 40s. So really, like, why would we say that he can't play? I mean, it's a competition, and may the best quarterback at that competition win. I guess not that I really care because I really don't like the Vikings. They're in my division. I don't want them to, be relevant, but I mean, good for him. He's trying to compete for the job. Let him. I mean, if he wins it, great. Yeah. If he doesn't, he doesn't. He at least tried. He wants to keep throwing his hat in the ring. I mean, he's played for the Eagles, the Colts, the Commanders, the Rams, the Chiefs, and now the Vikings. So, with 20 passing yards.
He was with them last year, too, as a backup, and he got to play when J.J. McCarthy got hurt, and he played so bad they let the UDFA Max Brosmer come in, who was even worse.
Yeah, well, we're going to get to that topic. Jeremy, you're doing a really good job leading up to our main topic, which will probably coming up in a moment anyway. All right, so with that said, let's talk about the fact that Brandon Ayuk is an absolute mess because he played his last game of Week 7 of the 2024 season. This guy is an absolute mess, Jeremy.
A mess? That's being polite. I think the guy is mentally challenged. I mean, anybody that's going to post a video that goes viral of him driving down during the daytime outside his stadium at 140 miles per hour is an idiot.
Right. Anything else you want to add to that? I'm waiting.
No, that's pretty much it. He was such an idiot that all he had to do was show up at team meetings while he was hurt last year, and he'd have kept his guaranteed money. The idiot didn't even do that. He got cut of all of his guaranteed money in his contract, which actually is 2/3 of what it is. So even if he came back to play, he's making 2/3 less money.
Okay. Ed, we definitely have a character issue here.
Yeah. Definitely a character issue. I definitely think I don't think I can say it any better than Jeremy said it. I think he kind of put a nice bow on that package. I mean, and what drives me crazy is to see he had a 4-year, $120 million contract that he basically pissed away. Excuse me. Can I say that on this show?
Yeah, it's okay.
You already did.
Yeah, exactly. So I just think character is a big thing, and you got to be careful. And it's sad to see. Actually, it's sad.
See, Ed, you've earned the respect of me. I give you a lot of freedom, more than a lot of the newcomers here, pal. You're good.
Oh, thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
You're very welcome. I appreciate you. By the way, Ed McAndrews does a whale of a job promoting us when he's not on the air as well. He goes out there and shares us on Facebook and everywhere and on LinkedIn. So this guy here is a real team player in every sense of the word. I just want to say, I'm thinking about Eddie. Thanks for what you do on Facebook, LinkedIn, everywhere else, and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you. You're one of the best additions I've had in a long time. You are.
I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
We put these people on these best shows. Eric Katz, are you all right, Eric? You fall asleep? We'll get you sooner or later.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just stretching.
But I like the way the guy. But Eric, I'll tell you one thing about Katzy. His dress code has improved significantly. I'm proud of Katzy. But I still am mad at him because he didn't give me my Father's Day call. But that's okay. It's too late. I got Rusty instead of you. It's okay.
But anyway. You were on vacation.
Oh, he gets away with that one. Okay. All right. Well, that's okay.
And you wouldn't have, and even if I called you, you probably wouldn't have picked up.
Actually, I probably would have with you. Okay, but that's okay.
I didn't want to disturb
can-
you. There's my
That's
Father's
okay.
Day gift to you.
Thanks. Cassie's okay too. All right, Eric. I mean, Eric, Mel. Where are we at? What are we talking about? What are we doing?
Well,
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
No.
Oh, I'm
What topic
sorry.
are we in, Candy? We're talking about Brandon Ayuk.
Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, unfortunately, Brandon is getting bad advice from somebody, and unfortunately, when he gets a little bit older, and I think you find this out with a lot of guys who are a little bit troubled in their career, thinking they were bigger than what they really are, bigger than the establishment. You're not bigger than the establishment. Those jerseys, or those names on the back of the jerseys, they come off so easy. It's almost like they're Velcroed on the back of the jersey. They just take the name off the back of the jersey and just replace it with someone else's name. Unfortunately, he's missing out on a lot of money, like Jeremy alluded to. He missed out on some guaranteed money. All he had to do is show up to get some guaranteed money. I mean, what more can you ask for? Somebody's trying to give you some money. All you have to do is show up, and you can't even do that. So he's getting some bad advice, and somewhere down along the line, he's going to regret that. You only have one opportunity. Life is very, very short. He has one small window of opportunity to get this money, and that window closes quickly. Every year they have a draft. They have all kind of undrafted free agents coming in. Everybody's coming in to get your job, and he was a great player. We haven't seen him play in a number of years. It's a very unfortunate situation. It seems they seem to be at a stalemate there at San Francisco and him, as far as, they don't want to seem to let him go. They don't want to let him go. They don't want to release him. There's no trade market for him. So he's just kind of stuck in limbo. So what is he going to do? Who's going to blink first? Somebody's going to have to blink first. Is it going to be the 49ers or is it going to be Brandon Ayuk? Well, the 49ers have a lot more money than Brandon Ayuk has. So, it's just an unfortunate situation how it's all worked out.
Eric.
I think he's an idiot. And I think not only did he blow guaranteed money, all he had to do was just show up and sit there. But this guy has some serious talent. All right. It's obvious. It's not the first time though he's gotten himself in trouble with Kyle Shanahan. I mean, it wasn't that long ago where he was in Shanahan's doghouse for being an idiot. And clearly he hasn't learned anything. The NFL is only a finite period of time. It's a very short window where you can make money, because after a while, though, you can only take so many blows before you can't do it anymore. And Brandon Ayuk, he's blowing his opportunity to set himself up and family members for life. But instead, he's just I don't even know what he's thinking, to be honest.
Well, to be honest with you, he reminds me of Antonio Brown. That's what, to my opinion, that's what he's turning out to be. All right. Anyway, go ahead.
That's a nuclear example.
That's exactly right. That's where I was going with that. Go ahead, Candy.
I was going to say more like Titus Young, who never really got a second.
Well, you know what? You can add him too, because that's a career that went to waste. Titus Young, if I ever saw one. Titus Young, Antonio Brown. All right, Candy.
Yeah, I don't understand why he didn't participate in rehab sessions for his torn ACL, MCL, and meniscus in his right knee that he suffered. That's when things started escalating. They're going back and forth. Obviously, now he's posting on Instagram and stuff, social media. Go Commanders! He wants to be paired back up with former his quarterback Jaden Daniels, who he played, his former teammate from Arizona State. But he's going about it the wrong way. He called the 49ers dumb and stupid. I think some of us would say he's the one that's flipping it. We should be flipping it around. Most of us would love to get paid 4 years, $120 million. Some of us will never see that much. I mean, all of us together will probably not see that much money, but
Mel probably got closer than all of us.
I was going to say Mel's probably hitting those numbers in his day.
Well, amazingly enough, though, Candy,
from your lips to God's ears.
But after he said the dumb and stupid thing, the Commanders didn't look too highly upon it, and they're not happy with that comment. They don't want anybody to sit here and call another organization, NFL, dumb and stupid. So he didn't score any points with that move at all. Great point, Candy. Let's continue on to our featured topic of the night, and that's this. Okay, we're going to talk about the NFL's crazy offseason. I'm going to mention some players. Jeremy, you're going to lead off and carry this segment. Everybody's going to follow suit. We've already spoken about Brandon Ayuk. No reason to proceed from there. But give us updates on Michael Pittman first, and I'll read them off in order. Michael Pittman.
Michael Pittman got traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers to be joined up with DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers when everybody thought it was going to be Will Howard. But lo and behold, 2 weeks before OTAs, Aaron Rodgers says, "Hey, Pittsburgh, I still want to play, but it's the last season I want to play," putting Will Howard back on the bench again. And, that has to be about as demoralizing as being handed a trophy. And then they say, "Oh, wait, you didn't get first place."
Okay, Jeremy.
Next
Jeremy
one.
I'm going to hit Jeremy with all the names. Everybody will have time to process which ones stand out. Okay, that's the best way to organize it. Okay, got Kirk Cousins. We know obviously went to
the Raiders. He went to the Raiders this offseason after being cut by Atlanta because he didn't live up to the hype there, but he actually wasn't as bad as they thought. And then when he was said that he would be the mentor to Mendoza, he goes, He pulled a Lee Corso and said, "Not so fast, my friend. I'm here to win a starting job."
Okay. The next one is David Montgomery.
David Montgomery came out on the Sunday before he was traded, said, "I never asked to be traded. Demo said that." Next day, he's traded to Houston for Juice Scruggs and a couple of picks. Good for him. He went somewhere else. They're going to give him more money. And we got an offensive line depth.
Okay, Eddie, that'll be a topic next week, so hang with us on that.
Oh, yeah. I was going to bring that up later, too. But
but that'll be next week's but not for today. Okay.
Yep.
All right, let's continue on from David Montgomery. We go to Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon has to be livid because now, as the former Texans guy, he's not the guy anymore. It's going to be David Montgomery and Woody Mark.
Okay. Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley being with the Titans, as bad as the Titans has been, I think they'll be better with Brian Daboll and Robert Saleh there, but I still think it's going to leave it less than desirable for Calvin Ridley because Cam Ward did not look as good in the pros as he did at Miami.
Okay. Let's continue on. And that's this, Kyler Murray. We talked about him earlier. You can elaborate.
Hey, I'd love to be able to get $34 million from my former team and still make another 1.7 as the league minimum to play for another. Hey, I got a raise.
Actually, who's the guy who studies a lot? Not. Okay. Justin Fields.
Justin Fields might be starting week 1 for the Chiefs because now he's with the Chiefs. And I don't know. I think possibly last year, everybody on this panel had more net passing yards than Justin Fields in week 4 of the NFL, which was negative net. He had a net passing yards of -10.
Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara may be probably now the best number 2 back in the league now that they got Etienne there, or Etienne as he likes to be called,
right?
When you pronounce it in the Cajun way. I think that was a great move by them. It may extend his career and make it so he can actually stay on the field the entire season as a number 2.
Yeah, Travis Etienne did a whale of a job, but obviously he was smart. You wanted to earn some more money, and he ended up in a good spot. And you know what? I like actually Justin Fields. I think he's going to get his career turned around with Andy Reid. I really like.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody's going to do it, it is Andy Reid. If he can't do it with Andy Reid, he does not deserve to be in the NFL.
Totally. Okay, let's continue on to Tua.
Tua Tagovailoa is now an injury-prone left-handed quarterback backing up an injury-prone left-handed quarterback in Mike Pence, Atlanta.
Yeah.
That just sounds funny. That sounds like a bad joke. Story.
It is a bad joke.
Yeah. All right, move on to Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill, who's still a free agent, Wow. Hey, I wonder how he's going to pay all that child support this year.
No kidding. That was good. I love that. That was really great, Jeremy. I kind of wondered that in my eye, but I'll let you the one saying it. Geno Smith.
Oh, Gino. The police have reopened the investigation into his assault and battery charge against his girlfriend from down in Florida. So it looks like Gino may not even get the start for the Jets.
Scary. Evan Ingram.
Evan Ingram is a good tight end. Wherever he goes, he should do well. I like the kid. He went from the Giants. He got better with the Jaguars. Good luck to him.
James Conner.
Man, great running back. And I'm going to say this from a fantasy standpoint. When he plays the entire season, he's a top 10 fantasy scoring running back. He's won me a championship. So if you got to get him. But now he's going to get less touchdowns. So I think his fantasy value is dropping this season because they have the touchdown merchant known as Tyson Algier.
Amazingly enough, when I did play the fantasy football late years ago in the family, I did have James Conner. I had some pretty good weeks with this guy. I really liked him. DeAndre Swift, you and I are all too familiar with him.
He got paid by Chicago. Good for him. I hope he stays as healthy as he's been since he left Detroit, because when he was here, it was like if he got breathed on, he fell down.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Okay. 2 more to go. Brian Thomas Jr.
Brian Thomas Jr. is probably going to reemerge as the number 1 target for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I just think he had a sophomore slump year.
Okay. Last one, A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown asked to be traded. He got traded right after June 1st. Probably the least held secret in the NFL because we all knew it 3 weeks before the draft.
So Jeremy's broken down. Ed, give me 1 or 2 of these that stand out.
Let's see. You're asking an old man to remember all the names you wrote. AJ Brown is probably one that sticks out because that was such a being in the NFC East with the Eagles. That was one of the ones. I personally think that's going to come back, and it needed to happen. It was unfortunate, but I think it's going to hurt the Eagles. But I don't feel bad about that. Don't get me wrong. I'm just stating my opinion on that.
Mel?
I think it's Travis Etienne going to New Orleans. He can't stay healthy. He's not a real big back. Not very durable. Hadn't shown a whole lot of durability since he's been in the league. But I think it's going to be interesting. He's paired there with what I think a pretty creative and good offensive mind is a head coach. I'd like to see the coach do well. New Orleans is a tough place. They're still really trying to figure out that quarterback situation. I know they have that guy who is it from Louisville, Blau, or whatever the guy's
Tyler
name is.
Shuck.
What's the guy's name? Yeah, Shuck.
Tyler Shuck.
They have him there. But I'd like to see, I'd like to see. I can't think of the doggone coach's name, but I'd like to see New Orleans do well.
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore. Yeah, I'd like to see him do well. I think he's a pretty brilliant offensive mind. He did a great job there in Philly. I think everybody was happy in Philly when he was there, and they won the Super Bowl. He ends up leaving, and nobody's happy. And AJ Brown leaves. I think AJ Brown is going to do tremendous there in New England. He's going to have somebody that's willing to throw the football, going to give him an opportunity to go out there and get it. I think he's going to have a big time year in New England. I really do.
I think he's going to have the best actual quarterback he's had in his entire career.
Okay.
Well, that's truth. I mean, that's a fact.
Eric,
I'm going to go number 1, Geno Smith. I mean, the Jets decided to to run back to an old ex-girlfriend that wasn't very good the first time around. What makes them think it's going to work the second time around? Not only is it not going to work the second time around, but he gets in trouble off the field. So here we have it, the Jets' never-ending carousel of quarterbacks. As much as we make fun of the Browns, this guy is the one that they signed, and he hasn't even he hasn't even made it to the field yet. But I'm going to also say AJ Brown. I mean, it was bound to happen. JJ Brown was disgruntled. He clearly displayed it all season, and the Eagles' offense was not good last year. It was very boom or bust, and I think that they're not really solving a problem by trading them.
Okay. Andy.
I'm going to go with Justin Fields going to Kansas City. I mean, if Andy Reid can't help him, then nobody can. And let's face it, it's a low risk for Kansas City because Kansas City's only paying him $3 million of his $11 million guaranteed. The Jets are still paying him $8 million to play in Kansas City.
Standard New York Jets.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you who I'm going to go with. I only have one: David Montgomery. Jeremy, who was the last running back that left the Lions to go to New Orleans that went for greener pastures that didn't work out? Tell me. I'm sure
Jamal Williams.
Bingo. What was it?
Jamal
Williams. Let's see if David Montgomery becomes another Jamal Williams story. I don't even know about
They didn't want to pay Jamal. They didn't want to pay Jamal. Jamal wanted to get he wanted to get some extra cheddar. They didn't want to pay him. He didn't want to leave. Jamal did not. He did not want to leave.
He was just a goal. He was a goal line merchant. Is all he was.
We got Jamal.
Well, that's what he was.
Right.
Right. That's what he was. How did it work out in New Orleans? He was not relevant there, was he? No. And he obviously.
I went to school with Jamal's mother. He didn't want to go.
I know he didn't want to go.
But
I'm saying we got rid of Kerryon Johnson, and we picked up Jahmyr Gibbs that offseason. Yeah. Praise God, because Kerryon Johnson, it was carry on my wayward knee. But anyways, which was much like DeAndre Swift and everything else for Detroit. Those were two of the most injury. When he was with Detroit, he would constantly get hurt. He missed 3 to 6 games a year every year, and we didn't have anybody to back him up.
See, I don't know much about the Lions' new running back that replaced Montgomery, but I'll be curious to see how Montgomery does.
No.
You're talking about Pacheco.
He's talking about Isaiah Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco is a lot like what David Montgomery went through in Chicago. The last couple of years, that O-line was allowing him to get hit behind the line more. He doesn't block as well as Montgomery, but what he was a good short yardage back that would get touchdowns for Kansas City when on the field. And with an improved O-line in Detroit, I think he's going to fall back into that short yardage touchdown merchant in the goal zone, in the red zone.
Okay. Well, anyways, my pick there is obviously David Montgomery. All right. And now we have one other topic, and then we're going to go to Mel's viewpoint. And
you got to give me a chance to prepare for that, Scott. I don't want to embarrass myself on here. I was expecting next week. I mean, I have something I would like to talk about, but I'm not prepared. I need to be prepared.
All right, well, they ought to do it, but then we'll just preview it. Mel's going to have his own viewpoint next week, debuting next week. So we'll have it there. We'll have time to prepare. I just thought he could think of all the things we talked about throwing in, but Mel's too smart. I'm not.
There's something specific that I want to touch on.
Well, then guess what? You'll have a week to prepare for him now. All right. Well, with that said, one thing you don't have to prepare for is, unfortunately, the way things are going for Andre Rison, because he lost $20 million on bad spending. The former Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Andre Rison, due to lifestyle and significant spending problem, he owned a fleet of 50 luxury cars and $1 million in jewelry. Get that. First of all, we're going to talk about that first. You feel bad for the old Michigan State guy who's really falling on the hard times, Jeremy.
And a Flintstone, no matter. He's from Flint, Michigan, graduated from Southwestern High School. I know him personally because he used to come out to a nightclub here in Flint with Mateen Cleaves, Robert Smith, and a couple of other of the Flintstones from that Michigan State Spartans team that weren't making it in the NBA at the time. And Andre Rison would always foot the bill. So I know he would overpay for stupid stuff, like get the VIP room at the bar called Celebrations, and overpay for $300 bottles of Grey Goose back in what year was that? 2006, and then tip me $600 as the outside security guard to watch their cars.
Okay. Falling on hard times. And I got one other thing we're going to follow up with it before we go to your final segment, Jeremy. Ed?
No. Well, good for you, Jeremy, getting that nice tip for watching their cars and
Every
doing
Friday.
a good job at that. And doing a good job, that's good. Good hard worker. No, what do you say? It's the story that it stands the test of time. There's always, it's sad. It saddens me to hear stories like that, in the sense that these guys are, they're told about, managing money and stuff like that, and some guys, it just, it doesn't click for whatever, spending money and buying stuff is a form of, soothing yourself when you're depressed or whatever. It's just like eating, it's like alcohol, it's like drugs. So sometimes, maybe it's something like that. The guys, dealing with issues. I don't know. Just sad to see guys going through that. Doesn't matter, anybody, sports player or not.
Okay. Mel?
I mean, the reality is, and I don't like talking about these stories, but the reality is he didn't make a whole lot of money. I mean, back then, it's not relative. I know Andre from when he was in high school. They don't, you go to the NFL and you never had anything in your life, and all of a sudden you're given a whole lot of money, what was thought to be a whole lot of money back then, which was a whole lot of money back then. But nobody teaches you how to deal with it. Nobody teaches you how to budget it. They don't give you, you don't have any courses in finance and personal finance when you're going through high school and college. Nobody teaches you how to save money. Nobody tells you anything about investing. Nothing about Roth IRAs. Nothing about mutual funds. Nobody tells you, anything. And if they do, you may not even listen, because you haven't had those conversations at home. You think that money's going to be there forever. You're making that kind of money, think you're going to make that money forever, and then all of a sudden you don't, and you continue to spend as if you're going to continue to get that same check, and that check's not coming in, and you are hemorrhaging cash because you were hemorrhaging cash when you were playing the game. You haven't learned how to live on a budget, and it's unfortunate. It happens to a lot of guys. They aren't prepared for life after football. You get a whole bunch of money, and I'm really concerned with these guys in college right now with getting this NIL money. How are they going to transition once they leave college? And I think that John Calipari talked about it. These guys are going to be having to settle for $75,000 a year jobs, and they're used to making $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year. And they've made in the last 3, 4, 5 years while they're in college, 6 years, however long they've been there. It's going to be difficult for them unless somebody's sat down with them and really, giving them a course on how to manage their money, on personal finances and things of that nature. Because most of them are not going to go pro in the sport that they're playing in. Most of them are going to go pro in some other way. And so I think we're going to see a lot of this, unfortunately, coming up because of the NIL. Hopefully we don't. I hope that I'm wrong. But it's an unfortunate situation for Andre. I don't know what to say, but I mean, it happens. And not just in football. It just happens in life. Things happen. People squander money. The older you get, the harder it is to recover. Just pray for him and his family.
Eric?
I mean, when isn't Andre Rison in trouble? I mean, it seems like we wake up the next morning and boom, there he is. That's just how it's been for him. He was actually featured prominently in the ESPN 30 for 30 documentary. Broke very much so, and it's unfortunate for him. It really is. I mean, the guy was a free spender. I mean, you look up his name in the dictionary. You look up free spender in the dictionary. You'll probably see his picture there. But he's, unfortunately, you know, these guys are just you hand them a lot of money and they don't know how to responsibly deal with it. There's such a thing called being handed money, but having the competence to deal with it correctly. And none of these kids these days do, because there's for some of these kids, there's very little resources that they have because their parents probably have never seen that kind of money. It's just the key is knowing how to responsibly deal with it. And Andre Rison has shown time and time again he never had that.
Candy.
So we could say this about a lot of people that come into money. Look at how many lottery winners win big lotteries and then go broke, because all of a sudden they have newfound friends, they have new relatives that are coming out of the woodwork. They don't know how to budget it, how to make it last. There was a legendary 2009, and I know that's a long time ago, but a legendary 2009 Sports Illustrated article estimated that 78% of retired NFL players file for bankruptcy or experience severe financial stress within 2 years of leaving the game. Then there was there's another comprehensive economic study from the National Bureau of Economic Research tracked 2,000 NFL players drafted between 96 and 2003. The research found that 15.7% of players filed for bankruptcy within 12 years of retiring. But so obviously there's a need for, and it's not just NFL players and it's not just college players, but it's teaching at a younger age how to manage money. And I think that's where we're starting to get better, but I think there's more that needs to be done at a young age. Like if you have young kids and you all of a sudden, let's say you're going to pay them to do chores. You pay them to do chores and then teach them, hey, part of that money, stick aside and start saving it. I will tell you that one of the biggest influences happened to me when I started my first job. And granted, I'm in the financial business, so I understand. But my first manager sat me down and said, if you at your age start saving $20 or whatever it was, $10, in how many years, compounded with interest, that'll be how much? Whereas if you start your IRA when you're 40, 35, 40, how much it's going to take, how much more you have to put aside every paycheck to get the same amount. I wish people would, had access to stuff like that so that they could learn how they need to save.
Yeah, the rule of 72. Nobody teaches you that. They don't teach you that in high school. They don't teach you that in college.
Correct. And one of the other things I will say, my history professor in high school literally said, okay, Candy, here's a job. This is how much you're going to make. Now you figure out how you can rent, what kind of car you're going to afford, and literally prepare a budget. And I think we miss out on some of that as well.
So let me go to the chat room. Burton Kozar. Let me tell you, we're going to talk about him a lot next week. Eddie Sorthy, he's another guy we'll be talking about more detail as well. Midnight. Glad you're involved. Thanks for being in the chat room, Midnight. I'm sorry. Thanks for being involved with the chat room, Midnight. We're going to get into the Sorthy thing. There's a lot there. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Oh, that's me, Scott. I'm sorry. That's my alias. My Kevin Durant burner alias on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. So this was Andre Rison's second offense as a DUI/OWI conviction in Michigan. He was arrested in Troy on August 23rd for operating while intoxicated and an open intoxicant in a motor vehicle, later dismissed. Right. He pleaded guilty to the OWI charge in 2026. He was sentenced to 2 to 5 days in Oakland County Jail. He served 2 of them. So, and now he has to do 18 months of probation and pay $2,300 in court costs and fees. And that has to be paid before he makes his first month's probationary fee.
Yeah, so that's the latest update I have, Jeremy, too. Thanks for bringing it up, okay? That he is serving a jail sentence in Oakland County for the OWI. So that's where he's at. Andre, I just hope he gets it figured out. It's just too bad. It really is. I've seen a lot of people that deserve to be in the slammer. This guy's being generous, but he's still unfortunately dealing with some hard times. And like Mel said, these are stories I don't really like to bring up, but as part of the journalism business, we have no choice but to bring them out there, and that's what we're doing, is bringing them to the forefront. Well, since Mel's going to wait on his segment next week, we're going to let Jeremy do his. I know he has to pick up his sister shortly, but we're trying to get this thing wrapped up so he can do exactly that. Jeremy, go ahead. You have a final word on the segment. Everybody will go ahead and do their thing, and then Candy with one more station break. Next week, Inside the Pigskin will return at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. More fresh topics as well. But I'm glad we had Jennifer on tonight. And Eric, obviously, a much better act. And Eric's going to be on a doubleheader tomorrow for us as well. Go ahead, Jeremy.
So normally I have a nice poignant sports piece to talk about my Lions or about the NFL. But I have a picture there I want brought up because it's something that affects me personally. And he was a Tigers fan and a longtime Detroit sports fan. Rockin' Roger Reaver, and he got the name Rockin' Raj because he was a part of KNR Sounds. KNR Sounds was my father in his party DJ service back in the 80s and 90s. He passed away yesterday, and my heart felt prayers, condolences, and everything goes out to this man's family. I've known them probably for 41 years of my life.
Wow.
He was a big part of why I have a presence on the microphone, because between him and my father is where I learned my DJ voice and how to project my voice and how to be heard, even on a weak microphone when I'm not close to it.
All right, well, you know, with that said, we're going to dedicate this show to Rockin' Roger. How's that sound?
Rockin' Roger, there you go.
Yeah, and let his family know that we are dedicating tonight's edition of Inside the Pigskin to Rockin' Roger. And we hope he rests in peace, and condolences to his family as well. Great stuff, Jeremy.
The woman in the picture with him is his granddaughter who graduated that day 2 years ago.
Okay.
Fee, that's short for Felicia Weaver. His daughter Tracy is a good friend of mine, and I asked if I could use that picture to do a moment of silence for him on my show this morning, and she said thank you, and she loves it. She's actually going to include that in the collage at the funeral.
Well, we're going to have a moment of silence right now. Rest in peace, Roger.
Rest in peace.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. Jeremy, glad to put that out there. We'll take anything you have, and I think this was well earned. If obviously any loss of yours is a loss of ours as well here on the network. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and let everybody know how to get a hold of you. Jeremy's got a date on Fire Up. Go ahead. Put it out there. Let them know how they can reach you, Jeremy. Oh, there he goes. All right, that's okay. Don't worry about it. All right, Ed, let everybody know how they get a hold of you.
Well, you can get me here, or you get me in 2 days on Sports Wrap again with the great Scott the Motor City Madmouth, then on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and all those other social medias.
Okay, Mel, go ahead.
Hey, yeah, Scott, I don't know if you know, remember Jim Mitchell. You remember Jim Mitchell played for the Lions, number 83, back when my dad played? He passed away on Saturday. He was a Ford dealer. He was actually one of the first guys that he started working with my dad, started working at the store, learning the business there at my dad's store. And my dad was one of the first guys. My dad got through dealer development and ended up getting a Ford franchise out in Lynchburg, Virginia. But anyway, he just passed away. So my condolences. I send my condolences out to his family and all of his loved ones. You can reach me you can find me at all the social media at Melfar Jr. And follow what we have going on here in Georgia for the youth, and also in Michigan for the youth at melfarsuperstarfoundation.org.
Totally understand. KCB Sports Network, you're a trooper tonight. You did a whale of a job. Hang in there, and God bless you. This guy's unbelievable. All right, go ahead, Eric.
You can follow me on my X account at Sports Team News. You can check out my blog on also southfloridatribune.com. I got my own Substack, and if you think I don't like your team, I probably don't.
Okay, Candy, put this KCB Sports Network up here. Obviously, he was emotional, so we can put that up there so they can go ahead and put that up. Sarah cannot talk. You can find him on South Florida Tribune YouTube channel Tuesdays and Thursdays. There you go. Hang in there, Jeremy. You're unbelievable. We're glad to have you with us. Okay, Katie, take us home.
So yeah, KCB is Kneecap Biting Sports Network. His some of the comments have been from his channel. We would also ask you to go ahead and subscribe to his channel as well. Yes, he helps us Tuesday nights here, and then Thursday nights Jeremy's on Fire Up with me as a co-host. So just wanted to get that out there. But South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth, talks about his 40-plus years in the media business and how it has changed and evolved. Get your copy today. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. The audiobook is also out there. There's a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where Smoking Jeremy B and Eric and Scott all write for us. So go check out their writings. They do a really good job. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. If you want to be a guest or have topic ideas, or you want to sponsor a show, you can always email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. If you see the red subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, that means you have not yet subscribed to us. Please do so. All you got to do is hit that red subscribe button, tell your friends and family, turn on your notifications so you're notified every time we go live. Last but not least, we created a travel YouTube channel, Destination Discoveries Media Network. Please go out there and subscribe to that. If you are interested in travel, we are talking all kinds of travel, international, domestic. We were in the Keys. We've been putting up some of the videos from that we took over the weekend. So please subscribe to that channel as well. And if you know anybody that's interested in travel or anyone that's interested in doing some traveling, to check out our YouTube channel. We will put up reviews as well. I can tell you there is up on the channel, there is a place that we went that had a key lime pie. And I'm not going to lie to you when I say it was 6 inches tall, I want to say, and it has a meringue top to it that was at least 4 inches tall. So go check out the YouTube channel, Destination Discoveries Media Network. Back to you, Scott.
All right. Well done by everybody. Jeremy, great job as always. And do a great job, Candy. You are definitely going out there, and you talk about our big contributor on the back end with your production research. Outstanding. Mel, you're always my rock. So get ready for a new segment debuting next Tuesday night. Eric, well done. Much better show performance tonight. You get Eric Katz on tomorrow night twice. He'll be on the Motor City Mad Mouse show, and he will also go ahead and be on the Sports Exchange. With that said, that does it for this edition of Inside the Pigskin. On behalf of the people I mentioned and all the people in the chat room, everybody did a great job for sure. And we'll look forward to doing better next week. So take care. Jennifer Matthews Lewis, glad to have her on at the beginning as well. Can't forget my baby sister out there. So God bless Jen, and I'm sure we'll see her soon. So good night, everybody. We will see you next Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a great evening, everybody, and we'll have more great content on the way. More hay and more to say. Good night, everybody.